Hello everyone and welcome to the highlight video for the Montreal Expos matchup against the Blue Fishes. This was an interesting matchup where we were looking to continue our momentum from the previous game, but things really didn't get going until the third inning, where Linda Potter is going to theoretically pop out to the shortstop, but Pablo slightly misplays it. And that leads to Jack Joseph coming up and unleashing a line drive to center field that just gets over the fence for a 2-run home run that puts the Fishes on the board first in this game. Just a classic reminder that small mistakes can have big consequences. However, Pablo Sanchez, being the star player that he is, makes up for it in the bottom of the third with an opposite field blast over the garbage truck into the neighbor's yard. And a solo home run for Pablo, who continues his batting hot streak, 484 feet. And that cut the deficit in half. But this was an efficient game. Both pitchers were throwing strikes, and there was a lot of good fielding throughout. In the bottom of the fourth, we continued our comeback with Keisha Phillips on second base, and Ernie Steele hits a perfectly placed line drive into the left center field gap. This easily scores Keisha Phillips, and Ernie Steele goes to second with a game-tying double. Into the top of the fifth, runner on first for the Fishes, and it's a beautiful single down the left field line, except that Ernie wisely throws it to Mikey Thomas, who uses his cannon of an arm to get the shock out at first base. And then later, Luann Louis gets a measure of revenge on Jack Joseph by striking him out to end the inning. In the bottom of the fifth, Annie Frazier is up, and she hits a little pop-up that is not fielded by the catcher, and another example of a small mistake having big consequences, because Pablo Sanchez unleashes on a slow ball to straightaway center field, and what would have been a solo home run becomes a 2-run blast that gives us our first lead of the game, 4-2. The Fishes certainly played well, but that mistake ended up being very costly. As we go to the top of the sixth, again, Fishes with a runner on first, and Ernie Steele fields this, tries to get the out at second. Another misplay by Pablo, and it looks like we are going to give the lead right back. But Pablo makes up for it by making a nice diving catch to get us out of the jam. And then in the top of the seventh, another difficult play. Jocinda not quite fielding it, but getting the out at second. And then it looks like we should have had the out at first, but it's overthrown. And then Luann throws it to second. It's overthrown again. If Luann had just chased the runner down there, I believe we would have had a double play. But no harm came from that. And then in the bottom of the seventh, Mikey Thomas gives us some much-needed breathing space with a 2-run home run of his own that doubles the lead to 6-2. And it's been an interesting season for Mikey. He's had some games where he's really struggled, but his power has come through in key moments like this one. Bottom of the eighth, Vladimir Guerrero leading off. He is going to add a home run of his own, which stretches the lead to 7-2 right off the top of the shed, which puts us up 7-2. And Vladimir, similar to Mikey, right? His power has been inconsistent at times, but we will certainly need it in the stretch run. So good to see him getting a home run here. And 7-2 would be our final score as Luann finishes off the complete game in the top of the ninth by getting Vanna Steinman to ground out to herself, giving us the 7-2 victory, moving us to 8 1-3 on the season, but we are still tied with the Melonheads, although we do seem to have the tiebreaker. But 3 important games coming up.